Testing. Yeah, okay, now I have audio. All right, so additional techniques, additional examples. I'm going to give you a series of examples. So let's start with example 1. Let's evaluate the tangent. The integral of the tangent of theta d theta. Matter of fact, I think we used that before. We already gone through this. Here we're going to use the quotient identity. So, if I is an integral, then the integral of the tangent is now the integral of the sine over the cosine. And I'm going to add the variable of integration, d theta, to the numerator, because I have a very neat substitution here. If you look at the denominator is cosine theta. If you take the derivative of the cosine theta, you get negative sine theta d theta. So if cosine theta is u, then du is negative sine theta d theta, and sine theta d theta is simply negative du. So the integral now going to look like negative du in the numerator divided by u, or I can write it as du over u, right? And of course, the antiderivative of 1 over u is the natural log. So we end up having the natural log of u. And with the natural log of anything, because the argument of the natural log has to be either positive, to be positive, it cannot equal 0 or negative. You need to use the absolute value. Okay? Because u equal cosine theta, and nobody tells us cosine theta cannot be negative, right? So we need to use the absolute value, and I can now substitute back and say that we have negative the natural log of the absolute value of cosine theta plus c, and if I'll write it like so, I use the property of logarithm, where this is negative 1 times the natural log, so I can write it as the natural log of the cosine of theta raised to a power of negative 1, like so, plus c. And you end up having the natural log. This is 1 of the cosine theta plus c. And the result of this integral is the natural log of the secant theta. So this is a good integral to remember. So the integral of the tangent of theta d theta is the natural log of secant. They have the absolute value of the secant. So it's one of those list of basic integrals that you can use as reference later on. By this I mean, if in a test situation, in the process of solving a problem, you run into solving the integral of tangent theta, you can replace it with the natural log of the absolute value of the secant plus c. Unless the requirement, the test question is show the solution to the integral of tangent theta specifically, then you need to go through the steps. Other than that, if you're not, then you can say, okay, I know the solution. The solution to this is that.